Kyle, Mohan Racing, and today we are continuing our discussion about our Formula Drift 1000 horsepower RX-8. Time to tear things down and look at how our motor has been operating over the past 2 years, which would basically be 2 seasons of Formula Drift competition, plus a lot of dyno days, test days, burnouts, and just general abusive usage. Like I always mention, I think professional drifting is probably one of the more abusive things you can do to modern performance engines. We're also running that renewable lubricants 2050 Biosyn Extra engine oil. Loving that for the past 2 years, so that's one of the things we're looking at. We WPC treat our components. Our rotors are Series 4 high compression that have been side cut and balanced by Mazda Tricks. We're running E&J 2mm 2-piece seals, running that renewable lubricants bio premix in our E85 Ignite ethanol, and we're running a Haltech Elite computer. So hopefully that gives a little breakdown of some of our components that are keeping us reliable and getting us to this point. All right, so let's take a look. Here's our 3 rotors. Everybody's had questions. We do get a little rust because we actually run a lot of water injection to help control our intake temperatures. Our E&J Apex seals withstand pretty high EGTs. And if you look at our running surface, it's still looking great. And I think this is a big attribute, especially when you're running ethanols or drier fuels, to having a proper premix and premix ratio established. Here's all 3 rotors and their apex seals, and you can see all 3 rotor bearings looking fantastic. And then when you get down to the apex seals, we did all of our tolerances. There's no warpage. You can see the loading on the side is pretty standard. We don't have anything digging in, so we're not overloading. And then again, I'm just grabbing a random one, and our running surface looks pretty good. You can see, still looking quite good. And you look at the tips, and you can see we're not getting any tip interference either. Always recommend side cutting, high RPM and high boost. So overall thoughts is we're looking good. Apex seal condition is good. Bearing condition is good. E-shaft condition is also good. And, I'm used to seeing this discoloration. I can run my finger over this. These are not scratches. It's just visual discoloration. We did have a little bit of something pass through the oil system. There was evidence on our center main bearing, which is in that previous video. But overall, the filter looks great. The shaft condition looks really nice. It's glassy smooth. And this shaft was a used shaft when I got it. So this shaft is original, out of a 20B from Japan. We're talking about a 20-year-old component at this point. About 4 years ago, it was WPC treated, micro polished. It was then in the MX-5. A lot of the components from this motor came out of my backup motor for the MX-5 when we built this new RX-8 3 years ago. And that's why I kind of give a lot of these components a refresh time of about 2 years ago. And that's when we started using renewable lubricants and basically put the motor together as it is currently. So, yeah, that's where we're at. Looking good. This has been another KMR Tech Talk. I always recommend good oils, good lube. Check all your tolerances. Rotary motors can last a long time. There's a 2-year 20B. At 1000 horsepower. We're going to keep it going. Follow KMR.